in our communities. The businesses that you see working here and in other areas around town need a business capacity that allows them to get more customers, grow from within, hire more people, and then do specific things that the city can do. When you want to grow your business, the city taxes you with fees that you have to use to make sure that your business is growing again. Well, those fees have increased over the years that we've had a brother in office. They continue to increase, almost to the point to where it is a detriment for people to grow and expand their business. That's one of the first places that I'd start. If you want to provide more jobs, because we do it for corporations, we give them 75% tax abatements over 10 years. Why can't we provide those same levels of abatements for our small businesses? That was your question. How do you increase capacity? Yes, we've got to do something that says small businesses are the growth engine for our entire city. We've got to be dedicated to doing that. I've always been a proponent of a small business, hear me out, small business chamber of commerce. Because you have the Greater Columbus Chamber of Commerce that is run by all of these large-scale corporations. And the needs of Nationwide don't mirror the needs of small businesses like you have downstairs. But your business, it also mirrors the needs of the other businesses that are small around town. So why can't I use the bully pulpit of the mayor to bring those people together? Let's say all small businesses, here's what you're going to do. We're going to have a small business chamber of commerce that allows you with like-minded issues to pool your resources together. And I'm also going to take a little city money and give it to you because it's going to be a return on investment. The income tax produces $814 million. The income tax, $814 million. To me, if we grow people's ability to gain more income, then we grow the pot that we're going to collect as a city. My plan is going to get more people working. It's going to allow small businesses to expand and grow so that they can hire even more people and pay them even better salaries. That's my plan concerning small business.
Ms. Martin, do you need your paper?
No.
Give her the mic, please.
Hi, I'm Shelley Martin, and I'm actually undecided at this point. So when I watched you both on the debate, I see two leaders with similar strengths. Then I see some differences. I'm interested in your leadership style. I see you as a very strong leader, one that can probably lead the city, one that has a lot of knowledge. I see you as one that really can connect with the people. I need both. Tell me how, give me examples or tell me how your leadership style connects with the people. And tell me how you're strong enough to lead the city where it needs to go.
Sure. So throughout my entire career, I've worked across the aisle with Democrats and Republicans to develop schools and to promote agendas that will be helpful to the people. Overall, I believe that you have to have someone as a leader of this city who can talk macroeconomics and deal with the Wexners and the Cardinal Healths and the Huntingtons of this world. But you also need somebody who can come right down here to 5th and Cleveland Avenue and inspire and motivate the public as well. See, I am the only one in this race, I believe, that can do both. And I'll give you some examples. The last 3 years of my life, I've been working very hard to produce a school called Cristo Rey. Cristo Rey is a Catholic private high school that works with the business community to give jobs to young people so that they can grow up, go to college with some workforce development skills. Now here I am, a Black Baptist, and I'm working with people who don't look like me who don't believe the same faith as I do on issues that impact young people who don't believe their faith either, who don't represent the same type of ideals that they come from. But that's what's important, because you have to be able to say, Columbus is a very diverse city. You've got to work in each and every community. And I've been there. I've had positive impact with both communities, the affluent and the underserved. When I worked with Charlita, a part of what we made sure that we did is we answered the questions of any and everybody, regardless of what committee they were calling about. So that meant we were working in health, housing, human services, and workforce development. But if you called me with a sewer and water issue, then I handled that. If you called me with a trash pickup issue, then I handled that. You have to be able to do multiple things at multiple times. So my leadership style is collaborative. I'm going to go to the people and say, you're going to have a seat at the table up front. I'm not just going to sit down there and decide what you need for you. I'm going to have you at the table with me so you can tell me what your problem is, and we can work together on how to solve it. It takes a special kind of leader to do that, because most people have the penchant to say, well, I'm so smart. I've got 80 million degrees, so I know and you don't know, so I'm going to tell you what to do. But that's not my style. You know full well exactly what your problem is. You also know the solution to your problem. So the more that I can empower you to give me that information so that I can go back and say, here's what, and I know the city, here's what the city can do to help you solve your problem. And then here's what I'm going to do to advocate to the business community to help you solve your problem. And back to our social services agency to help you solve your problem. You need someone who has worked in each and every one of those sectors to be able to have a collaborative approach to running this city. That is what we're going to do. That's what I've always done, and I'm going to continue to do that as your mayor.
I thank you for recognizing the strength of my leadership. But actually, I'm a servant leader. And that means, that's why I wear this band that says I'm second. Because I always put people first. The reason why I come off as a strong leader is because of my level of confidence. Because of my success that I've experienced over the years. Working with Bishop James Griffin, who was he oversaw the diocese, the entire diocese, before there was a Crystal Ray. Working with Catholics, working with Protestants, working with Baptists, working with them all. One of my jobs that I had with the mayor, Buck Reinhardt, was the liaison between his office and the black clergy in this city. And worked with them and their members of their various churches to get things done in their communities on their behalf. Couldn't go into that church to tell them what they needed. I couldn't go into you know better than that. You're not going to go into a black church and tell folks what they need. Okay, and so consequently, we went in and we listened. And I would come back, and constantly the mayor would say, well, Terry, take care of it, take care of it. I said, no, I tell you how it can be taken care of. You have to give me something so I can give it to them based on what they need. You just don't go in and try to out-talk black pastors and explain to them what they need and for them to just be calm and we'll get to you. No, that doesn't happen. And so you got to be able to deliver. So I've been able to deliver on multiple fronts, everybody. And that's where the confidence comes from. In the private sector, in the public sector, in the government sector, in the education area. I've been successful. When you look at my total background and experience, you see multiple recognitions from our community as well as various communities. I'll tell you a little story. When Dana Reinhardt was running for mayor, and we put our cabinet together, our campaign strategy, they said, Terry, you're going to be our black grassroots coordinator. And I said, no, I'm not. Because I'm bigger than just the black community. I work with all communities. And they sat back and they thought about it for a while. They said, you know what, you're right. So my first job with the city, I oversaw all of the area commissions. So I had to go into every corner of the city of Columbus and work with all the citizens in the city of Columbus. And we've got tremendous projects completed. So it's not that I'm so strong and because of my education, I'm proud of my education. I'm proud that I have 4 degrees. I'm proud to be a role model for our young kids on what they can accomplish because I came from the streets. And if somebody who grew up in the streets of Cleveland, Ohio can make it to what I've accomplished, what better role model is that except Jesus Christ? And so consequently, I'm proud of what I've accomplished. And because I've accomplished so much, it comes off as me being very strong. But it's not all about me being strong, it's about me being confident because of what I've done and what I will do. A couple weeks ago, this band represents me marching with the Reverend Fred Lamar in his neighborhood. He and his congregation take it to the streets the first Sunday of every month, preaching peace. And they honored me by asking me and accepting me in that march. And we had a hallelujah good time. And you should have saw the pride in the faces of the people as we marched and told them, men, put down those guns and start raising your sons. He has a cadence that's out of sight, and we had a ball doing it.
Mr. Boyd, I'm gonna have to interrupt you.
Oh, wow. That's the first interruption of the night.
I was trying to be cordial,
Okay.
but it's actually 7 o'clock. We have 2 things that we must do before we leave here. Are y'all all right with that? Are you okay with that?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I'm told I was here till 7:30.
Well, bless it. Okay, good. So y'all here till 7:30 then. So we all here till 7:30. I would like everyone that's here with stories behind your eyes to stand. Let's give them a hand. So, Stories Behind Your Eyes is a group. Matter of fact, donate 2 minutes. Come tell me what it is.
Everybody's napping like 2 minutes or whatever.
Right, that's what I said. 2 minutes. And I'm gonna shut the mic off.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Darlene Jones. Good evening, Mr. Sargent. Stories Behind Their Eyes is a student-led organization to bring awareness to human trafficking. And our students you see here and their parent supporters started this project about 3 years ago. And our goal is to represent the voice of the voiceless, those who do not have a voice. And we try to bring awareness by student to student within Columbus City Schools, as well as throughout other areas too, wherever we are invited, like this forum tonight. Our student Talia is helping to moderate. Our students in the audience also have questions. And so we try to, within our means, let young people know that they have a vital role of helping to save each other. Now adults, we can't do it, but it is powerful when a young person like Thaddeus and Quentin, Mark, Keith, India, Vanessa, Tiana, Talia, tell another young person, you can make it. It's going to be okay. There's help out there for you in terms of human trafficking or any other issue that they may face within the high school or their community. So in a nutshell, I could talk forever.
Thank you.
It's Stories Behind Their Eyes.
Thank you. Thank you.
I wanted to come to stand for this reason. I want to ask you both, were you aware of the fact that there's about 5,000 missing kids in Columbus?
Yes.
Were you aware of that?
Yeah, I've heard, I didn't know it was that high.
It was just actually announced by Columbus Police about 2 weeks ago. We did a segment on Channel 10, and I was actually informed that there's just a little over 5,000 missing kids in Columbus. 60% of those kids are girls. What do you intend on doing about the human trafficking that's happening right here under our nose?
Well, I intend to empower those agencies that are working in that area. You know, this is not new to Columbus. Columbus has, for as long as I can remember, back in the 1980s, in fact, Directions for Youth. It used to be right around the corner from 2nd and High. I'm guessing here. But they ran a residential facility for runaways. Well, Huck House as well. But it wasn't that we had so many of our own kids missing, but a lot of kids would run away to Columbus. And so, for whatever reason, Columbus is a major hub for this type of trafficking. And it's been that way for years. And so now it has gotten more visibility, and there are more agencies beginning to target services towards them. As I mentioned, as a total, the human service organizations receive 0.5% of the city budget. Now, one major priority is to increase that, because those who need our help the most receive the less from the city government. So we have to change that. I mean that's a no-brainer. And so we have to provide those services that will help, and create special police task forces that can be trained and isolate just this problem for them to work on. It can't be, you know, because you're in my sector, I'll investigate. No, we have to have a police task force to work on these typical type of problems that we've been having in Columbus for quite some time, as well as the drug trafficking, because that's part of it too.
Ms. Ragland, I'm going to answer that question.
Sure,
I'm gonna
thank
just
you.
say this. Let me say this first. Did you know, you don't have to answer this, it's kind of just information. University of Toledo just did a study on human trafficking in the state of Ohio, and Columbus primarily. Our #1 client is a police officer. Just wanted you to know that. Now you can answer the question.
So what we need to do is starve out this culture that desires young people to be trafficked. I think it's a supply and demand problem. If we starve out the demand, then the supply will get away from here. If you look at human trafficking, on a large scale, a lot of it is event driven. So look at the events, the large scale events that bring in potential customers here in Columbus. You're talking about the Arnold Festival, some of those larger scale festivals that bring in people from all over the country, and it attracts those pushers with young people to give to the disposal of these people who are coming from all over the world. For me, targeted enforcement and putting people under the jail sends a message to let you know that slavery in any form will not exist in the city of Columbus. So that means if I catch you and you're a John and you're out here soliciting prostitutes, or you're out here trafficking young people here in my city and here in this area, oh yes, you're going to have a problem with the years that I'm going to put on you when you go to jail. But you've got to starve that environment out. You've got to say, well, you know what? Columbus or anywhere in the city, in the state of Ohio, that's no place for me to go to try and get this done. What's happening is, if you look at the human trafficking issues right now, we've got this 75 corridor to the far western part of our state, really goes all the way up from Detroit or down through Toledo, down past Lima, on into Columbus. You have to understand how we work with Highway Patrol to say, well, here's the end result here in Columbus, some of those other smaller municipalities. Here's what we need you to do as folks are going down through Lima. Here's what you need to look for as they stop off and get food, and when you see young people sitting in these cars looking as they, you know, we've got to train more than just law enforcement. But these target areas where these pimps and pushers are using to move our young people, I need to have frontline soldiers there as well. Here's what you look for. Here's how young people are crying out for help, but you may not even see it with an untrained eye. That's the level of support that we've got to give them. And if Columbus is a destination, starve up that destination. And then we work with our other partners around the state to give real solutions, not just fluff, real solutions on how we can identify human trafficking and stop it right there where it exists. It takes a huge collaborative effort. But I've got the skill set, I've got the know-how to make sure that we do it and do it right.
If you are elected mayor, would you be willing to connect with other mayors from other Ohio cities to create an anti-human trafficking task force?
Absolutely. I have already gone on the record for the creation of an Office of Intergovernmental Affairs that deals with issues surrounding the city of Columbus and other municipalities around the state. And if you really think about what's happening, you've got urban areas in the state of Ohio, and then you've got rural areas in the state of Ohio. Now, our issues that we have here in Columbus mirror the issues that are occurring in Cleveland. They mirror the issues that are occurring in Toledo. They mirror the issues that are occurring in Cincinnati. A lot less so in some of the other small towns in rural areas. But my Office of Intergovernmental Affairs will do exactly what you've asked us to do, because it will say, we've got specific problems that are unique to cities like ours. Together, we can lobby to the state legislature that says, here are the municipalities that are being impacted by these issues. We know that it doesn't happen in the rural areas, but they're unique for us. And in order for us to move ourselves forward, we're coming to you as a collective saying, we've got targeted needs here in the cities. The state, here's what we need you to do. Federal government, here's what we need you to do. Because our voices are stronger when it's not just Columbus advocating for these things, but it's also Cleveland, it's also Toledo, it's also smaller towns that are still considered cities like Mansfield and Springfield and Akron and Canton. Those types of entities would be collaborative partners on issues of human trafficking, also on issues of education, issues of policing that are unique to inner cities, issues of schools, all of those things. But I've promoted an Office of Intergovernmental Affairs at the cabinet level to identify those issues and work specifically with a laser-like focus on them.
Yes, I would also collaborate with other cities. I guess the difference is that I wouldn't create an office.